Good morning everyone, welcome back to Nat's Snackers Yard. Oh, Nat, this won't be my Snackers Yard, this will be a bit of a midweek update, probably published end of the week. I don't know. How's you? Hope you're well. I'm not. I've had a bit of a disaster. The non-disaster today is that I'm not going into London today. I've got another site visit to do, which is nice. Just varies it a little bit, and it's a lot closer. Which means, well, I'm leaving at the same time, but means I'll get home a lot earlier, which is nice. I like that. Anyway, that's all irrelevant. I've had a nightmare with pork. No, I have not embraced a faith. This is with pork, the chop, the Super Dream chop, and the tank. Wasn't it all going well? I wasn't really, I hadn't really been filming it because it's another tank that I've rubbed down, painted, rubbed down, polished, and I didn't think that would be particularly interesting. Plus, it's a really odd thing to film, to upload to video. Anyway, I hadn't really been filming it, so I knocked it back, primed it. There was a couple of tiny dents in it, but I'm talking tiny. It's tank's in a lot better nick than I'm used to, frankly. But yeah, got it all done, got it all painted, got a small shed load of black. I'd stay in black on the bike because I don't think it needed anything else. It's had enough fandangos on it already, keeping it relatively simple. It's loosely termed designed and made an insert for the front neck of the tank because it doesn't sit as it traditionally would on the bike. All good in the hood. Got it painted, got some decals on it that I'll show you at a later point. Painted over or lacquered over those, looking good, ready for the tank pads, the knee pads on it, etc. And I thought, oh, let's chuck it on the bike, see how it looks, because I was particularly concerned about the angles of the decals because the tank is pitched back effectively, and I wanted to get the decals at the right angle. I wanted to check they look good. Put it on, yeah, that looks good, like that. And I chuck some fuel in it, get pork going again, chuck some fuel in it, got pork going again, all good in the hood. Happy with that. What's that smell? That's petrol. And immediately, because carbs hate me, because I love carbs and they hate me, it's like a dysfunctional relationship. I thought, oh, for feck's sake, these carbs are leaking. And immediately I went to float heights, because that's normally the issue with carbs leaking. Occasionally, if it's not float heights, it's gaskets, and arguably, if your float heights are correct, your gaskets should be okay. But and I immediately went down that thought process of, oh, could be this, could be this, could be this. Anyway, thought, oh, bollocks. It does have a three-way. Well done. It does have a three-way fuel tap petcock, if you like, off, on, and reserve. And I thought, oh, if I got it on reserve, is it just continuously flooding the carbs? And looked at it and thought, well, it is. That's because I didn't put a lot of fuel in it. So I wiped the fuel tactor off. Okay, that'll stop it. Thought arse, left it, went in to grab a cup of tea, came back out, and it was still, it's not gushing, but it was still leaking. I then had a look and thought, well, the very bottom lip of the tank, bottom, the low side lip, the left hand lip is wet. I thought, what the fucking hell's that? Anyway, took the tank off, had a look, and it is 1 times pinhole. One pinhole. Why do these things always appear once you've painted? Now the problem, what I might have to start doing is, once I've painted a tank, before I bother rubbing it down and everything else, or once I've, in fact, new stage, I'm being an idiot, once I've rubbed down a tank, from now on, I'm going to chuck something inert in it. Probably not petrol, probably just white vinegar. Just to make sure that through rubbing it down I've not exposed any pre-existing leaks or repaired leaks or whatever, because that might get me around the issue that I'm currently in, where I have found the leak, and it is a tiny pinhole. Immediately I'm on the oh bugger stage. Where am I going? I'm not going that way. How do I fix this? Well, pinhole in the tank, several ways of doing it, ways I've tried before, some I've tried and failed. I've tried solder in the past, but I have failed every time. Me and a soldering iron are a dangerous combination, let alone doing it on a tank that has literally still, well, that has at that stage still got dregs of fuel in it. Now I don't really want to be exposing anything hot to that, so as a quick fix I was like, no, I predominantly due to safety but also due to ineptitude, I'm not very good at that, so I do it. What I have tried and used in the past is like tank seal putty, which is essentially fuel-proof JB Weld, I suppose. Weld. I always say world as in Miss World. JB Weld. I had a look around because I have used that in the past. I'm sure I've got some somewhere, but it's disappeared in a drawer somewhere in the move when I moved garages. So I couldn't find any. What I chucked on it at the time was what I had, which is JB Weld proper, and I've left it propped up so there's no fuel in contact, because the tank is empty but it's always going to end up with dregs in it. Well, wrong, it will normally have dregs in it, so I've left it propped up for that to dry. Reason being, my proposed solution, or the way that I'm going to do it, is just going to reseal the inside of that tank. Now it is, I have one pinhole in an otherwise quite well painted, if I say so myself, but an otherwise pretty much immaculate tank. So the plan, he says, as if I plan. Oh, excuse me. The plan is that I intend to, I have bought, go on, dickhead, you pulled out. It's a busy road, I'll let you. But it would be nice if you put your foot down. Thank you. The plan is to drain out as much of that fuel as I could possibly get out, and reseal the inside of the tank using an epoxy seal, which I have done before to some success, although it does have if I remember correctly, it has a really quite a long drying time, which is frustrating, but if it works, it works. Now, it's one pinhole. Well, wrong. No, sorry. Let me rethink my thinking. Trying to reseal the inside of a tank when you blatantly have a hole in it is a little bit of a fool's errand, because theoretically anything you pour in that tank will pour out that hole. Now my view is yes, but that is one pinhole. Juan Pinhole. Sounds like a Mexican drug lord. Juan Pinhole. The resin should not pour out of that hole because it's a pinhole, but I'm hoping, well, wrong, sorry, I'm hoping the JB Weld that I put on the outside, which wouldn't be a long-term solution if it had petrol pushing against it, because it would shit the bed at some point. the JB Weld should hold, will hold the tank liner in place and gloop up that hole and set. That's the plan. You know, I'm even going to make sure that although epoxy resin tank liner is quite thick stuff, it's viscous, you do shake it around so it covers the hole as much as the entirety, that's a better way of putting it, the entirety of the tank, and you sloosh it around and prop it on its edges and all sorts to make sure that you get as much coverage as you can. It does end up glooping to a degree in a corner in my own experience. Now I'm just going to have to make sure that glooping in the corner is in that bottom left hand corner, and obviously with a tank it's not a flat bottom girl. It is got, you know, a divot, if you like, for the frame, so it will congeal. Now there's a great word for a morning. It will congeal in one corner, and Jesus Christ, it will congeal in one corner, and hopefully I'll get it to congeal in that corner, and then I'll chip away the JB Weld on the outside, get it nice and flat, and then touch up paint. Now the plan is one tiny little piece in the corner. I've never done touch up paint before. I'm going to try this time and just paint that corner. So I do have polish on the tank, so I'm going to have to strip that polish off. Now I think, and this is where you might be useful, please, ladies and gentlemen, I think just standard fairy liquid detergent, other brands are available, will just strip off the polish that I've put on it so far, or the polish in that corner anyway. So, you know, it's tiny and it's on the low side, but we'll get rid of the polish because I don't really want to be spraying paint on top of polish. What are you doing? Oh, that's slight indicating, but not. Dick. Yeah, so strip off that corner, primer on that corner. I've still got some black left. Well, I've still got quite a lot of black left. I have some new lacquer, and what I might actually do, come to think of it, and I'm talking as I think, which is always dangerous. What I might do is strip the polish off the whole tank. Now I've got more lacquer, and just really lacquer up the surface, so I can get as much coverage as I can over the decals so that I can rub them back again, because I don't think I'm quite there. I think I've mentioned in other uploads that's quite a tricky balance to get. Right, that's the plan. That'll do me for now, and I'll give you a holler later. Ta-da.